Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be writing linear equations. So we're going to be writing equations of lines. So if you remember, the form of a linear equation is y equals mx plus b. M represents the slope and b represents your y-intercept. So before we can write any linear equations, we need to know what m and b are, okay? Now, in some of these examples, we're going to be given the slope, and in some of them, we're not. So if we're given the slope, we can just go straight into this equation. If we're not given the slope, we have to find the slope first, and then we'll find the equation of the line. So, and if you remember, the equation of the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and we'll get more into that when we get to that example. So this first question says write the equation if the slope is -2 and passes through 3, 7. So in this case, we have the slope, so we can go straight into this equation right here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be filling in all the information we know. Well, we know the slope is -2, so that can go in for the m slot. And remember, I want parentheses whenever we plug anything in, okay? And it passes through 3, 7. Well, remember, this is an x and a y. So which one of these is the x and which one of these is y? Well, 3 is my x and 7 is my y. Remember, it's x comma y. So I'm just going to fill these in. So this is y, so that's where the 7 is going to go. I'm going to put my parentheses. Then there's an equal sign, then the m that we already did, and then the x, which was 3, plus b. And now I'm just going to solve this up. So I have 7, nothing I can do with this parentheses, so I'm just going to take it off. These two are just sitting next to each other, so what are we going to do with these? We're going to go ahead and multiply plus b. Then we're going to go plus 6, so 13 equals b. Well, now I know what my slope is and what my y-intercept b is. So now I'm just going to plug it into the equation. So it's going to be y equals my m, I already know is -2, then my x plus my b, which is going to be a positive 13. And that's the equation of that line. Okay? Now, in this problem, we don't have a slope, so I have to find that first. So I'm going to use this equation here to find the slope first, and then I'm going to do exactly what I did here. Now, when it says y2 minus 1, x2 minus x1, it doesn't actually matter if you do this one first or this one first. The important thing is whatever you stick for y first has to be x for here. So if you choose this one to go first on the top, this one has to go first on the bottom, okay? So I'm going to do this one first because it's y2, but again, it doesn't matter. So if you do it and you halfway through, you're like, oh, I got them backwards. It doesn't matter as long as you keep everything the same. So I'm going to go this one first. So this is my first y. So I'm going to go, so m equals, so I'm going to do this y first. So 3 minus 0 over, now, since I did this one first, I have to do this one first. So I'm going to go 6 minus 5. And that gives me 3 over 1. And then what does 3 over 1 reduce to? That's just 3. So that means my slope, m, right here is 3. So now this problem becomes exactly like this one, okay? So all I'm going to do is use my equation and plug it in. So again, I have y and an x. So remember, in this problem, we only had one y and x. So that's what I plugged in. In this one, we have 2. It doesn't matter which one of these two you plug into this equation. Now, I see here there's a 0. So I'm always going to do the easier one. So 0 is usually easier to work with. So I'm going to use that. So again, my y here, I'm going to plug in my 0 equals, then my m was 3, my x was 5, and again, put parentheses for me, please, and then plus b. So this is going to give me 0 equals 15 plus b. And again, I need to get this letter by itself. So I'm going to go minus 15 minus 15. So negative 15 equals b. And now I'm just going to write my equation. So y equals, what was the m that I found? It was 3, then x, and then plus b. It's a negative 15, so I can just put minus 15. If you put plus negative 15, it's the same thing. As long as you have one negative in there. Don't put minus negative. So remember, so if it's minus 15, you can either do minus 15 like I did or plus negative 15. Those mean the same thing. Okay? Okay, so lastly, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be writing the equation of the line if we have the graph itself. So remember, it's always going to be y equals mx plus b. Y is the slope, B is the y-intercept. We just talked about that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to figure out, well, what's this B? And remember, B is wherever you cross this y-axis. So where do I hit this y-axis? Well, I hit it, I start here, I go 1, 2, 3 down. So that means the y-intercept is going to be -3. So I can write this y equals, and then I know this B is going to be a -3, so I'm going to put -3 back here. And I know I need an x here, and then all I need is my slope. Well, starting here, what I'm going to look for is, can I find another place where the graph hits an intersection of two of these things? So I look here, and here's my other one. So let's see how I move from here. So to get from here to here, right, I go, remember, you're always going to go up or down first. So I'm going to go up 2, and then I'm going to go to the right 3. So up 2 and to the right 3. So this is going to be the equation of my line. So for all of these, remember, all we're doing is we're writing the equations of a line either from points or a point and a slope or from a line, right? But it's always going to be in the form y equals mx plus b. And that's what we got for today. Let's go.